So, guys, this is Faouzia, Tears of Gold.
Last summer, and I wrote it about those times in life where I've just been in friendships where I just kept giving and giving and giving, and it felt like nothing was ever reciprocated. And so I've always just been a little bit too forgiving and a little bit too nice, and that's kind of what the song is about. I give it all and nothing comes back, but I just keep doing it over and over again. Mama always told me that I was too naive, gave away my trust for pennies. I said, don't you worry, didn't think that I'd be broken down and crying. Help me, wrecked, check, hard, in debt. All you do is come around, just came here to collect. Wrecked, check, hard, in debt. Don't you know that I cried tears of gold for you? I sit here blind for you, collect my pennies and my dimes. That's why you love it when I cry. Platinum love for you, I'd give no less for you. Generosity's my enemy, so I'm broken in your heart's reach because of me.
So easy.
I know that this is my fault, gave a little too much, knew that this was gonna happen, but I'm not gonna lie, you can make me cry 1,000 times, I'll come running back like, what is going on with my head? Wrecked, check, hard, in debt, all you do is come around, came here to collect. Wrecked, check, hard, in debt, don't you know that I cried tears of gold for you? I sit here blind for you.
Oh!
Collect my pennies and my dimes. That's why you love it when I cry. Platinum love for you. I'd give no less for you. Generosity's my enemy, so I'm broken in your heart's rich because of me. And those parties, I do it all over again. And those parties, I know it's never gonna end. I keep coming right back like a maniac. I keep coming right back like, whoa. And those parties, I do it all over again. And those parties, I know it's never gonna end. I keep coming right back like a maniac.
Oh, man.
I cried tears of gold, collect my and my dimes, love it when I cry, love for you, I'd give no less for you, generosity's my enemy, so I'm broke, check, hard, in debt, all you do is come around, just came here to collect. Wrecked, check, hard, in debt, don't you know that I cried?
That's it? Oh my god. Oh, that was so awesome. I mean, speaking of singers who don't overdo it in the middle range and they don't need to, that yields amazing results on the end. Gorgeous. Amazing. Like I knew she had a great voice. Whatever I heard of her before was really nice, but the ascent to those like sky-shattering high notes, man. Let's get on it.
I wrote
Let's get
Tears
on
of
it.
Gold last summer, and I wrote it about those
Okay.
nights. And that's
Beautiful
kind of what the song
message.
is about. I give it all, and nothing comes back, but I just keep doing it over and over again.
Absolutely crazy control. Tears of Gold lyrics.
Mama always told me that I was too naive, gave away my trust for pennies. I said, don't you worry, didn't think that I'd be broken down and crying. Help me, red.
So the key to singing in this loose, open middle voice phonation, right? The key to this is allowing that openness in the chest sensation, allowing yourself to feel chest voice without gripping anything, right? You want it to buzz everywhere. You don't want it to be confined. And that's how the sound actually gets deep, right? That's how you get that warmth and sultriness in the timbre. It's not about holding anything. It's not about placing anything back. It's about being able to breathe with relaxation. Yeah, thanks for that gifted sub to Missenhauer. It's so vital. Yeah, she plays instruments herself. She produces herself. She's super impressive. God.
Check hard in debt. All you do is come around. Just came here to collect. Red, check hard in debt. Don't you know that I cried tears of gold for you?
It's such a beautiful, like, balanced phonation ascent because the air never stops. It's funny. I think it was engineering or physics that she majors in, and I love the idea of understanding physics to the point where it like helps your breath. I don't know if that's happening, but that's a little fantasy I have about this, is that, you know, her understanding of the physical world helps her, comprehend singing. But the reason I say that is because her ascent has so much legato in it. The way she just got into this like higher phrase when she went up to this chorus section. Watch this.
Don't you know that I cried tears of gold for you? I sit here blind for you.
There's never a point in there where she has to like choose the register she's singing in. It never crimps. It's very bel canto, which is it translates to beautiful singing, which is the, romantic era Italian singing. You think Donizetti, Rossini, Bellini. Nothing is ever crimped or nothing is different. You can sing at every dynamic in every part of the range, and the way you do that is by connecting every sound you make through that string of legato sound, that string of air, that connection, and that's the way she sings, and it works. It's the reason she keeps the breath moving consistently, never being shoved or jerked or anything. And that's how she's able to get to those high notes in such a stunning way without losing any timbre. The breath just drives the sound. I don't know. Sometimes I think about singing in a very engineering way, right? Scraggles! Yeah, right. It's beautiful, right?
Collect my pennies and my dimes. That's why you love it when I cry. Platinum love for you. I'd give no lies for you. Generosity's my enemy, so I'm broken. Your heart's reach because of me. I know that this is my fault. Gave a little too much. Knew that this was gonna But I'm not gonna lie, you can make me cry 1,000 times. I'll come running back like, what is going on with my head? Wrecked, check, hard, in debt. All you do is come around, came here to collect. Wrecked, check, hard, in debt. Don't you know that I cried tears of...
So that wrecked checked that she's singing, it's so easy. It's so open. It might sound to the ear like she's kind of grinding into it, but she's not. That's just as easy as low pressure as the high notes. Right? At the end of the day, singing is just about managing the pressure on the larynx so that you can vibrate evenly. And that's what she's doing incredibly well, right? That's not something that needs to be taught. It can be taught, but it can come naturally too. If you just are akin to that kinesthetic sensation of not wanting to create harshness in the throat, right? And that's what she's doing. She's keeping it even on the bottom so that she doesn't get stuck to get to the top. Yo, no problem, Snowfalls. I mean, just today is when I announced that we'd be changing the system, so nothing is set up properly, and this is a monthly Patreon stream, so these are all requests done on my Patreon page. However, just so you know, we're not using the same system, and I got to overhaul it all, but because things are changing. Change is scary. Okay, but anyway, going on, it's such an easy phonation, and I appreciate the sensitivity that she brings to the line. Even though this is pop music, right? This is really beautiful, well-sung pop music. But the principles that she's relying on to sing so beautifully are rooted in, classical Italian technique. And that makes me so happy. Whether or not she knows it, I don't think she's trained. She's self-taught. But regardless, it all corresponds. That's the beautiful part.
Girl, for you, I sit here blind for you. Collect my pennies and my dimes. That's why you love it when I cry. Platinum love for you. I'd give her no less for you. Generosity's my enemy, so I'm broken. Your heart's rich because of me. And those parties, I do it all over again. No, those parties, I know it's never gonna end. I keep coming right back like a maniac. I keep coming right back like, whoa. And those parties, I do it all over again. No, those parties, I know it's never gonna end. I keep coming right back like a maniac. I cried tears of gold, collecting my and my dimes. Love it when I cry. Love for you, I'd give her no lies for you. Generosity's my enemy, so I'm broke. In debt, all you do.
Dude, I'm speechless. I was like, this is what's happening in my head. In my head, I was thinking about everything she's doing. Her onsets, perfectly balanced. The airflow, which is hard to do when you're splitting up words like that. The onsets, right? She's going da da hana 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 da 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 da, but the air is starting at the exact same time as the phonation. And it's really awesome. And that's why the sound is so clean the whole time. And that's why she never pressurizes the voice and never gets into a spot where it becomes difficult or sounds strained at all in any way. Because it's just balanced phonation. If you really want to get better, it is as simple as perfecting your onsets and understanding how to support your breath. Or just knowing what it feels like to continuously use your breath, right? It's a lot simpler than it might seem. But man, is it hard to do. And man, is it impressive that she's just living up in those high notes now that she wasn't before. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go back before, right when she starts kind of riffing up there, because there's a lot going on. Yeah, lip trills, but making sure you're not getting overly pressurized during them. And showing your teeth, that always helps. It's fundamentals, dude. She's a great example of excellent technique.
I keep coming right back like a maniac. I cried tears of gold, collecting my and my dimes, laughing when I cry.
And like that's just a pure like vocal, like phonation from right here. There's no crazy resonances going on. This is just a pure, first, fundamental dominant sound. It's not about the overtones, nothing like that. But managing the pressure there in such a clean way is really difficult. It's really, really difficult. And she squats down, right? Right? When she squats down, that's another technique. I was singing in a master class a couple weeks ago, and this master teacher was talking about, when you go up for a high note, squat. When you go up for a high note, just squat down. Just get on a wall and slide down the wall when you go up to the high note. She's doing that right here for us because it just forces your body to naturally support. And if you're thinking about squatting instead of, squeeze my body, you're not going to get under any of that unnatural tension. So it's a really smart move. We see tons of singers do this. We see so many singers do this. We see a lot of like screamers and like growlers from metal do that. We see people like Floor do this all the time, just bending over to get that extra, physical support. And the sound that's yielded is amazing. Yop, go walk your dog. Yeah. Oh, absolutely stellar. Absolutely stellar.
Love for you, I'd give no lies for you. Generosity's my enemy, so I'm broke. I'm broke. Check, hard, and dead.
And then she says check like it's nothing. Like she didn't just sing like a ton of ripping high notes. But that's the power of having a clean onset every time. Because if you're really tuned in, keyed in to every single word you start, every single phrase you start, or you just train that into yourself, then you're not going to get caught by high phrases. You're not going to get stuck. Because once you get stuck, once you start singing with tension, whether it's at the beginning of the phrase, middle, at the end of a phrase, then the next thing you sing is going to have to you deal with it, right? But when you can start a phrase with clean onsets every time, you can sing like this. Stellar. Absolutely amazing.
All you do is come around, just came here to collect, wreck, check, hard, in debt. Don't you know that I cried?
And that's it. Mom always told me I was too naive. Gave away my trust for pennies. I said, don't you worry. Didn't think that I'll be broken down and crying to help me. Wrecked? Check. Heart in debt. All you do is come around, just came here to collect. Wrecked? Check. Heart in debt. Don't you know that I cried tears of gold for you? I sit here poor for you, collect my pennies and my dimes. That's why you love me. That's why you love it when I cry. Platinum love for you. Wow. I'd give no less for you. Generosity is my enemy. So I'm broke and your heart's rich because of me. Know that this is my fault. Gave a little too much. Knew that this was going to happen. But I'm not going to lie. You can make me cry 1,000 times. I come on and back like, what is going on with my head? Don't you know that I cried tears of gold for you? I sit here poor for you, collect my pennies and dimes, etc., etc. And the worst part is, I'd do it all over again. No, the worst part is, I know it's never gonna end. I keep coming right back like a maniac. I keep coming right back like... And the worst part is I do it all again. And then we repeat the chorus. I love that, that cycle of toxicity that happens so frequently, especially in like modern life. We are so connected all the time, and we have this expectation of that people are not going to abandon you, or rather we have a fear of abandonment to the point that we will get ourselves in these toxic cycles purely for the sake of avoiding abandonment. when other things that we're lacking are just as important, as our being alone or not. A bad relationship is a bad relationship, and sometimes it's better to be alone. But we get into these cycles, right? And the repetitive nature of the song, the repetitive nature of most pop songs, contributes to that structure, that mental structure. But the way she sings it is so well formatted to have this arc that at the end you feel that fiery rage you need that fire and energy to force yourself to break the cycle of a toxic relationship, right? Yeah, it's a really, really powerful story she's telling. And the singing only accentuates that. That's good singing, right? If you can have repetitive lyrics, repetitive music, but the voice utilizes intensity, uses different registration to accentuate that story in a meaningful way. Amazing. Faouzia, Tears of Gold, going on my list. This is an awesome song.